RC family. Oh man, God done blessed us with a podcast, y'all. Hey, welcome to the RC Lounge podcast with your host, EKJ 24000. Hey, this is where RC family we can come and just relax after a long day's work and just talk about RC racing, RC bashing, fifth scale, anything going on in the industry. This is where we can go and just relax and just chill, man, and just have a good conversation about RC. Hey, get ready for that episode. Let's go. And remember to check out my YouTube channel, EKJ24000 on YouTube. Remember to like, subscribe, check me out. EKJ24000 on YouTube. Like and subscribe. All right, y'all. Let's get it. And everything was really good. It was really good. Everything turned out really kind of better than we expected, and gotta give a big shout out and a big thanks to Beach RC, Brent Dilford, and the crew for getting the track together, because when we got there, man, the track was underwater, and so we had to scramble, get that together, and everything turned out good. Everything we got everything together, and the track dried out, and they made a good racing surface for us, and shoot, we just went down there and just ripped all weekend. So, but yeah, y'all, let me bring some of my fellas up in here so we can just talk about just how everything went, and just how everything turned out, and how everybody had a good time, and how we could maybe done different with setup and everything. So we just got a little panel here, man. We just gonna go through everything and just get everybody's opinion about RCGP that happened this past weekend at down in Myrtle Beach. This was round 7 and 8 of RCGP, the last American round. So we just gonna just chop it up, talk with the fellas, and let y'all meet everybody. And first, I'm bringing my boy Doc, the doctor. You need anything done, hey, you can call the doctor, Chauncey Mack, right here. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And then
yes, sir.
you know when you need a pro wrench guy, you know what I'm saying, they can break that car down and set it up real good. We're gonna bring in the big Mitch Watson.
Big
Mitch Watson right here, straight from Mississippi. Yes, sir. And the good guy, the versatile, work on anything, got a lot of good knowledge about whatever. A sportsman like sports, not just sportsman drive, but he into sports. His son Joe cutting it up in athletics. Real cool cat. My boy Tony Chan. Bring him on in here. Okay. And then we got this Italian guy right here. You gotta watch this guy right here. He
Oh man, he made it.
Yeah, man. This Italian cat right here, man. He
slipped in through the back door.
He used to ride motorcycle. Now you can't ride a tricycle.
But yeah, bring my guy in. This is my boy right here, Tony Scarcella. What's going on? What's up, fellas? What's going on?
That's just wrong, Tony.
He used to ride bikes, now he ride tricycles. Big Mick. Yeah, man.
Tony, that was Mitch. That wasn't me.
That was Mitch.
No, we all look alike. No, that wasn't Tony.
Yeah. So yeah, man. We got here. Okay. Well, yeah, RC family, but these my fellas, man, that I go to majority of all the races with. If we ain't all together, we with we wish each other win all together. So, but yeah, these my partners, man, and we all attended and did RCGP this past weekend. And so fellas, what y'all thought about what did y'all think about the track? How did y'all like the track? RCGP track. How did y'all like the track? Go ahead, Doc. Since Doc's first time, what you think? Go ahead, Doc. What you thought about the track?
Track was awesome. I mean, the layout, the technicality of it. It was technical.
Yeah.
It was a nice track. You know, it was different. It was different than what we normally would race on. But my vote, it was a kick ass track.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. It was real technical, especially that part, that middle section when you did the big joke, the big double, and then when the car was coming back to you and you had to make that little double and then make that left, the other double going back to the left. So yeah, man, it was tricky. But then again, if you just let your car keep that momentum, it just hop over that double and you can go on and make that the next double. So, but yeah, what you thought about it, Tony Chan? What you thought about it? Thought about the track?
Tony Mike off.
Tony Chandler.
Sorry, thought y'all could hear me. Just
You
messing.
good?
There you go.
It's
There
all
you go.
good. Go ahead, Tony Chan. I was just saying what you thought about the track and everything.
Yeah, I know. I thought the track was great, man. It was a good track to have a good race on and not worry about, breaking too much or breaking every single time you take a jump.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, I like those kind of tracks. I like the race time tracks, and but I enjoyed it. It was fun. I didn't race. My son raced.
Yeah.
But he said it was definitely challenging, especially from not racing often, and this was his first time back in a few months. But he really enjoyed it.
Cool. Big Mitch, what you think?
Man, I think it was the track was good. It wasn't quite what I expected. What I've been there before,
Oh.
like real like smooth. I guess the rain had something to do with that, and trying to get the track, dried out. But it's off road. Everybody ran on the same track.
Yeah.
The grip did eventually come up, not as strong as it normally be, but it was enough,
Right.
to make some adjustments. I gotta say I was expecting a different type of traction, but like I say, it's outdoor. That's it ain't indoor. You know what I'm saying? That's the beauty of it. It's outdoor.
Right.
So you have to adjust, and that's
Mhm.
So I had my right hand man JQ in my corner, so we make adjustments together, and I can kind of go off of him. Um, the track was good. Like it was. I would like to seen it be like it was with my driver. Always punched. You know what I'm saying? So
Uh-huh.
we had a lot of bad luck, but it was kind of the layout was more in our favor for our
Right.
driving style. Just wasn't smooth. If it had been smooth, I don't know what would have happened. But
Right. Yeah.
it was good though, man. It was good. The weather was perfect, man. Like after the rain come through, couldn't have been better.
That's right. That's right. Because like I said, I saw like before we went down there, I was looking at some past videos on YouTube, and the videos that I saw, the track was kind of like a mid grip, kind of loose. Um, but then again, it did groove up, getting into like especially our in our practice rounds, getting into the qualifiers, it started developing a little black groove, and so
it half of what I have seen it fall, bro.
uh-huh, yeah,
It didn't have half fall and fall. Get more than the little side road, hot road out there. You get more
right,
grip on the track than you did on that road side grip. I'm sure Brenton have it right for this fall, bro. But the weather had to play the part in it, And then, like I said,
yeah,
it's
it did,
outdoor.
it did.
That's a part of it.
Mrs. Scarcella, what you think? How'd you like the track?
I think just like Mitch, it was challenging. I mean, the grid, it was really loose at first, but I mean, considering we got there at Jason, I came with Jason Roberts. We got there about 4:30. on Thursday,
Right.
and it was just sprinkling, but it was I mean it was a mud pit. Those guys had done a heck of a job. They were working on getting just a lot of mud off and getting the water that was puddled up off of there, and
Right.
then skies opened up again, and it rained really hard to about 6:30, 6:45. So it was even more wet. So of course, when that happens, you're going to get a lot of sand that gets raised to the top and everything. And I mean, like these guys are saying, it was loose for a bit, but maybe I would call it mid grip as well. I mean, yeah, it grooved up in some areas, but
Yeah.
it wasn't super grippy for most of the track. But everybody drove it, and like Mitch said, it's off road, and I like it. I like it when it's loose and it's a mix of stuff. I mean, I grew up with two wheels sliding everywhere and
Right.
things like that. So I like with it. I'm not at work, so I'm gonna have fun, and I enjoyed it.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, so from just going over the track, filling it out, seeing how it was and how they got everything in order and everything back going. And so what was y'all approach like to going into the practice rounds? Was it more just feeling the track, getting your groove, or what y'all thought? Just getting your rhythm? What y'all think? Go Doc. Doc go first since he the version. So his chair just got popped the first time with RCGP, so he get to go first every question. You know what I'm saying? So Doc, what you what you think? What's up? How was your approach going into practice?
First thing Doc
Yeah.
need to do, he need to tell JQ and Keenan he's sorry that he missed the other RCGP because he loved this one so much.
That's right.
Yeah, it was different. You know, it was way different than what I
Yeah.
thought it would be, and it was, and I'm glad that I made. You know, I'm glad that Mitch talked me into going this time around. Next time I'll be there. You know, come back. You know, if I can make it to those areas, I will be back. But as far as like because the way the track kind of had the track was coming in,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean just in some areas, I mean you were just standing in mud when you was turn marshaling. I mean if you didn't really have some good shoes on, your shoes still gonna be sitting in that spot, and your foot gonna be in mud because that's how deep the mud was. But on the
Right.
track, the track, you know, they did a good job. I mean, they got all of that water off, and the
Mm-hmm.
sun came out, and you know, and it was just, it was clay. You know, it's clay. You know, it's soft on top, and you
So,
still could feel where it's like where the track was like real soft, but it wasn't soft enough for you to put footprints in. And so my main thing was to just try to get a feel for what the track, what the top of the track was like at first, because we
mm-hmm.
was running RC2, which is controlled tires.
Right.
So and then, you know, so it's no advantage for anybody that's running the RT2 because everybody's on the same tire. So
Yeah.
basically, just watch a couple different lines, kind of see how they taking it,
Right.
and then just playing a point of attack from that point.
Okay. Okay. Mitch, how do you and Cody attack practice? What was y'all like? Just begin to set up, or did you just go out with your car like how you had it from the beginning and just got the floor of the track? Well, how did y'all attack the practice
Well,
session?
first we've been real busy, and Cody got a full-time job now, and I kind of lost the part of that I was expecting to get. Like, say I got off of work, and Cody helped me here, Mississippi, before I left. I had to unload some cars and stuff.
Yeah.
He helped me. We came back to my house. We loaded stuff up. We was running JQ car because I didn't have a whole lot of time to get his car ready. And Cody hadn't ran but one time since the first RCGP, so we didn't have no practice. So we got there early Thursday morning, expecting things ready. And I was expecting to practice on Thursday because the RCGP class practice on Thursday. I said, well, we'll get us some track time in, get his hand-eye coordination back down a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But with the rain, we lost all that. And like I say, Lucas, and I don't know the other cat name, and Brent was out there with, he had a rake in his hand. I knew he was in trouble. He had a rake in his hand. So, yeah. But Lucas put in a lot of time too. He stayed, he wasn't there a lot. Y'all didn't see him a lot, but he did a lot of, he was just riding the lawnmower a good bit, and he was raking a good bit too. So, but we missed that practice,
Yeah,
and
it
that
was.
kind of really hurt us. That hurt us a lot. But like I say, so we had to run Friday when everybody else ran, so we didn't get that advantage to go out there and try this and try that.
Okay.
And I'm running a totally different car, so
Yeah.
but it was I mean, our practice was okay.
Mm-hmm.
The track started to change, and then me and Cody kind of bumped heads a little bit.
Yeah.
One time I would do that stuff on purpose. I had a certain set of shocks on the car. It was working at one point in time. It was good.
Right.
But when the track changed, we had to change. And needless to say, he was like, leave the car like it was, leave it like it was. So you know what I did?
Mm-hmm.
I let him bump that head, send him out there. It looked like he had shocks with no shock oils in them, boy, going around the track, Track was rough, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Exactly like he wanted it. And then he come back, well, if you know it was going to do that, why'd you do that? I had to let you learn,
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and I said, you know how you want it, do it yourself, So, but it was good, though. It was a learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
It was good.
So yeah, Tony Chan. So Tony Chandler, how did you go about what was your mindset as far as like attacking, the practice rounds and stuff with the practice we had? What kind of setup did y'all go out on or what was your approach to practice? Tony Chan,
Yeah.
you good?
Hey, y'all.
The mic on?
Yeah, his mic on. Tony Chandler. Scarcella, go ahead. We'll get Tony Chan straightened out.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, for me it was just kind of like with Cody. It was a matter of getting out there and getting some track time.
Yeah.
About the only thing I didn't like about the weekend was how condensed Friday was, because they were trying to stick to the schedule and they didn't want to go into the evening, which they could have because they have lights there. So we basically had all those practice heats, and going into the first seating heat, we had just enough time to go out there and run, go marshal, clean your tires, and go right back out again. I didn't have a chance to even change anything until Saturday.
Right.
So, which is fine. I mean, that was my only gripe. But, yeah, I just went out there, got some track time, and then just took mental notes of what I needed to do for Saturday. It's pretty much it.
Yeah. So, yeah, pretty much the same way. I just, my thing was, it was just going out there with a good base setup. Like I said, my diffs and stuff, I ran like 10, 10, 4. And really just going out there, just get in the groove of everything, just getting a rhythm, just feeling the track, learning the jumps, learning the corners, how to corner, and just get a feel of just getting a feel of the track. So, and then from there, then progress to picking up the speed, turning up the speed a little bit after that. But like I said, everybody kind of missed out on practice that we should have gotten. But I think everything turned out pretty good overall. You know what I'm saying? Going through practice, everything was good. Even though I did have a servo go out, and that kind of took one qualifying round away from me, but got that switched out and got back going. So everything turned out was straight for real. So okay, from practice, y'all going into qualifying. What y'all thought about the qualifying format? Did y'all like how the format was? Doc, did you like how the format pretty much was?
It's different. I mean, it took a minute for me to it's I mean, because with the way they do stuff, in America, we can, go to Live RC and stuff. We can see what's on the track and stuff like that. So the format that they run for RCGP is, I heard that it's on the same format as the Worlds.
Yeah.
So I think that was pretty cool to be able to run on the same format as the Worlds. But as far as understanding it, it's hard to catch on at first. And I still can't say that I'm 100%. Maybe the next race I'll be locked in. But yeah, I had to blow little Joe up, asking Joe, "Hey man, hey, what's on track now?" I wore Joe out. Just Joe was always on his phone. Joe was all over it. But for me,
Yeah,
it took me a while to kind of get the grasp of it.
it's all good. Yeah, I understand that. Like I said, the first time for me when I went to when we did Piedmont at S&B, it was the same way, getting used to that back to back and get. It was like I had to catch up to the speed of the race. You know what I'm saying? Just getting everything ready. I had to speed my stuff up to get get in the rhythm to have everything right for each round. But once you get that groove together and figure out how they run and everything, it's nothing. You just know you got to go straight back and start jumping on whatever you got to fix and get it knocked out before the next round. So, but yeah,
That's
so
true.
but yeah, what y'all think y'all would have changed about the format?
Mm-hmm.
What you think?
But Chance, I'm more like what Chance was talking about the format, but
Yeah.
it was easy for me. I just need to be ready.
Right.
So I sit next to Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I be like, Joseph, what? I like, how long we got?
He
30
talking about
minutes.
JQ, y'all. He talking about JQ. Yeah.
Be like
Go
30
ahead. Go
minutes.
ahead, Mitch.
He
Hey, I
can't be
just followed
Arnold. You
JQ.
got to
He
come
just
on
say
something else beside Arnold.
20 minutes. He ain't gonna
Yeah.
say, he's gonna say like 2 words, 20 minutes or 30 minutes, whatever we got.
Yeah.
And I just follow him, kind of like I never even looked at the sheets or none of that,
You're right. So that's good. He kept you on point with the timing and the time of everything. So yeah, that was straight. That was good. That's
He,
what's up.
he knew what would happen if I zipped that tent up. Me come back in that tent, zip that tent up, miss my rate. He knew what time it was.
It would be an ugly one.
When he come out of there.
Yeah. Scarcella,
Yeah.
what you thought about the
Yes.
format? What you thought about the format?
I lost the volume there. Hold on. There we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, the
So yeah,
format. So this is my third one, and I've helped. I've been a track crew to Worlds before, actually, race director, track director, excuse me. So, I mean, the format's fun. It's different. It's different than it's different than just straight mains like we're used to in heats that we're used to running in the U.S.
Right.
And the neat thing about this format, when you go into uh, you know paired finals, basically, where you depending on how many people you have, let's see, at S&B, I think we went to 16, so 16ths, eights, quarters, semis. So basically what you're doing is you're taking the top 4 to 6 of each one of those groups and you're combining them into the next heat. So it's an interesting way of doing it. It's kind of more of a heads up competition, but I like how things are scheduled. You pretty much know when you're going to be up for practice or qualifying. It gives you time to go do something if you need to. Versus just having to wait there and guess. So that part I definitely like. Like I said, the only challenging thing this time around was, because of the weather, they tried to condense everything on Friday. So
Yeah.
And then what they were trying to do was stick to the schedule. I mean, I
Okay,
talked
go
to
play with
David
your tablet.
Ishwood
Go play
about
with
it,
your tablet.
and asked them if they could, maybe open it up a little bit on Saturday, just because it was so tight, which is what they did. And all they
Yeah,
were
that
trying
worked
to do
out.
is just make up for the weather. So, but I like it. I really like it. I mean, you get a lot of track time. So
Right. It does. You really do. And it is quality track time too, and everything's once you get out there and get used to just the pace of how everything's scheduled. I mean, you just can go out there. The track's you're not in big heat races with a lot of cars. It's comfortable number of cars on the track at one time. You racing with the people that's similar to your speed. So you could really ask for much more other than just. I don't think I had is just like I said.
Go play with your tablet.
If it's not a maxed out race, I believe they could have just slowed it down a little bit so people can just get in that groove or just getting everything together and stand on pace with the the times of when the races are up and stuff like that. But other than that, it was, like I said, everything was done on time and professional. So
It's just more enjoyable when you don't have to do all like, you stand in like you got somebody standing in line. You stand in line for 2 hours just to get out there and practice for 5 minutes, 7 minutes, and
Exactly.
it's like
right.
even like DNC, like if you run in 2 classes, like say you run a nitro buggy and e-truggy, they run one day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or you might be running one or the other, so you can work on one car, and you got it's controlled practice, but you know when you're gonna go up. You know what I'm saying? Get your run time in.
Right.
I mean, but when you up there and you got stand around for 2.5 hours just to get 5 minute practice, you don't have time to do a whole lot.
Go
It's just
play with your tablet.
Right.
and you're up all night, and then see on top of everything, we got to like we got to hang out afterwards. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't just rush. Like we got to hang out afterwards, go out to eat, and
Right.
just chill and have a good time and enjoy each other. So it makes it a whole lot less stressful. And like I guess I've just been doing it for so long.
Mm-hmm.
I used to feel like I was missing something when I missed those big races. Like I was missing something. I don't feel like it no more. I'm just been in it so long. I'm just over it.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of got over it. I do the club racing and the smaller big races, the tracks is there all year long. I like that.
Right.
That's what's gonna keep our hobby alive. And we're getting so far away from that tracks are shutting down because they don't have the support.
Right.
No, we don't have the support. So, and we're already small as it is.
Well, I mean,
small hobby.
Go ahead, Doc.
well, it's small, but the problem is, it's a small hobby, but some people are in it for the love of the hobby, and then some people are in it just to make a dollar. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
I think those people that are in it just to try to, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, you have a business and things like that, but at the same time, when you're dealing with things like that, you got to be in positions to where you got to give back. I mean, it's no different than how the majors do it. Professionals, when they go out, I mean, they're encouraged to give back. I mean, if you giving back, then that's
Right.
gonna
Well,
make people more comfortable to come back and support you if you're giving back.
not to cut you
Okay.
off, but let me ask you this: the RCGP,
Uh-huh.
see all the guys that came in, how everything went. You think RCGP about making money or growing the hobby?
Growing the hobby.
Because they ain't making no money. I can tell you that. I know. I don't know everything. I know where Dave come from. I know where the other guys came from. I know where Keenan come from. I know all these guys kind of came from.
Yeah.
Dude, they're not making no money. If it had been, I ain't gonna say anybody else, but if it had been some other groups doing this race, I guarantee you they would have canceled. We had what, less than 40 in the RC2 class? Am I right? Was it about
Yeah.
40 in RC2?
Something
I
like
think it was
that.
38.
All
38.
right. Okay. When
Uh-huh.
the dollar being made, it would have been canceled. I know it would have been canceled because, like you said, it ain't about for everybody. It ain't about the growing the hobby. It's about the money. And I gotta give it to them guys. They do a good job. They organize. They fair. And like David, he never stopped. He was constantly going. That dude never
Yeah.
stopped.
You're right
Never
about
stopped.
that. Yeah.
And like he come off. He real nice, but like he have to be something. He has to be a dick sometimes because that's the part of like Lance. I like Lance. Lance have to be like that sometimes.
Yeah.
If you gonna be the director, but he like that towards anybody. It ain't, he's nice to me most of the time, but if I do something messed up, he gonna drop the hammer. You know what I'm saying? I don't take it personally. You just have to be like that.
Yeah. But
But yeah, it's a good series, and like say, and they figure out a way to give back to the racers, and not talking about just money wise. Just teach them like they took like Corey took you. They run about drove your car, helped
right.
you.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
man, that was
Stuff
great.
like
That
that.
was great.
I mean, because most things see pro guys at these races, and it's like some people be scared to approach them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but they kind of bridge the gap to help you. Because like, if people keep breaking every jump and they can't figure this out, this and that, you're gonna give up. Like, you get tired of like they help,
Yeah.
help guys out.
Not only that, but it also gives you a different perspective of that driver. these drivers are taking time out to come and help these young pilots, to help these young drivers, young and old, to point some things out that they didn't see. I know when David was talking with Corey was all, he was all hands on. And you could tell that Corey was listening to everything that David was telling him,
Yeah.
because all the information that he was telling him was going to help him. It was all good pointers that David was giving to Corey. Same thing with Joe Barnhorst, what he did for Joe. He gave Joe a lot of good pointers. And I'm sorry, but the RCGP is the only one that has done that. I haven't seen that done at any of the other events. Maybe besides Bring the Heat when uh what was it, DeMarco and Ryan Lutz.
Okay.
That's the only other time that I can remember seeing it, because I remember looking up at the driver's stand and I said Lutz is on the track. And I looked up there and Lutz wasn't on the track, and I looked over and Lutz was sitting in pit lane and DeMarco was driving his car. And
Yeah.
so it's, people really don't realize it or not, but it's times like that where it just really opens your eyes to be like, wow, that's different. That's somebody that's really trying to support the hobby.
And
So
that's
kudos to RCGP.
Yeah.
and that's what I hate. And I ain't just saying because we, Miyako, and I know JQ pissed a lot of people off. Like I got in JQ ass this weekend. You know what I'm saying? We still buddies and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But they're just teammate. You know what I'm saying? We overlook stuff. But he get read wrong a lot, and he a lot different in person when you're around him. But I gotta say, and this is my opinion, I think the dude, he really is into trying to grow the hobby. Like, he's not even racing. Like, so what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? Like, he's not even racing, but he's trying to like that was his idea. Like, you know what I'm saying? Trying to help.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was his
It
idea,
was.
and
Yep.
he do a lot of different stuff. But he get misread a lot, and a lot of people don't agree with him. But it is what that was a good idea. Just a
It really
It was a
was.
real good idea.
Yeah, because like I said, you don't get,
and I'm not cut you off
you
again.
don't
And on
get
top of that, they had a clinic too, right? They had a clinic. They're supposed to try to have a clinic. I don't know if the weather got involved or what, but they're supposed to have a setup clinic before all of that. I don't know. I think the weather got involved with it, but they had the tent open. The tent over there, the clinic. Supposed to have a clinic,
Yeah.
setup clinic going on for everybody. But I think the weather got involved and all that stuff, and they got behind schedule.
Yeah.
So it didn't happen. But it wasn't because it wasn't planned,
Right.
But you don't get that when you go to a race. Most of the time, you turn your dollar in. You go from 3 qualifiers, sometimes to 1.5 qualifier, 2 qualifier. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Yeah.
And then if it rained, then guess what? You finish where
It's over with.
Yep,
Pretty much.
race is over with.
Yeah.
You finished where you are qualified at.
Yeah. And that could have happened here too. It possibly could have happened here. But them guys came into this race, the RCGP. They came into this race knowing that they wasn't going to make any money. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then like with the RC2 guys, it was a little simplified for y'all because everybody ran on the same tire. So
That helps. It really does help.
Yeah.
It makes a difference.
And
Go ahead.
you didn't spend no more money, Chauncey, like no more than what you normally would have spent on coming in about 30 sets of tires. You know what I'm saying? Just buy this one, same exact tire. If you want a new set, just put them on. The track wasn't even eating tires that bad that I could see.
Yeah.
But maybe
No,
later.
it wasn't, but I mean, I learn something there too, learn something on that tip. But yeah, it definitely wasn't eating up a whole bunch
I'm
of
gonna
tires
tell y'all something. I'm gonna give y'all a laugh real quick.
at all.
I'm gonna tell you what my smart behind did. I was sitting over there by one of the officials, thinking we run what time we want to run. I pull out my sauce thing. I'm saucing tires right in front of the damn police over here. Saucing tires, talking to them, saucing tires in front of them.
Yeah.
I thought we could sauce. I didn't know we couldn't. I thought just
Yeah.
And boy, that was the biggest. They laughed at me like I was I was so embarrassed. Literally, I had my little thing. I was dapping it on, saucing them tires.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that just come from you running the races over here. You know what I'm saying? And this RCGP does give you a sense of how it is when you have to go through tech and do all that kind of stuff, and that's good. So when we go to like DNC, or if we have an opportunity to go to Europe and run. You know what I'm saying? We'll know kind of what to expect because we've had this experience doing RCGP. Scarcella, what you think?
Well, pretty much what you guys are saying. I mean, I know just exactly what Mitch said. I mean, I know for a fact those guys are doing this to promote, and they're definitely not making money on it. I mean, there's no way. I mean, they've moved an entire video production team from Europe over to here. I don't know if you guys are aware, but they basically have two people that are pretty much editing all day long. All the stuff they get, there's active work going on all day long.
Yeah.
So I mean that takes a lot of money, and these guys are all professionals at what they do. We haven't got weekend warriors doing this stuff. These guys do this for a living. So David Isherwood, has put together a team of professionals, and we're benefiting from it. And I know right now it seems small. You got to think about it. The first race was in 2019, before COVID, and I was at the one at Thunder Alley, and that was great. That was really good. But that was pre-COVID, and I don't care what anybody says. COVID affected everything.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, I know it's affected me at work. I know, it's just affected everything around the world. So,
Right.
right now, here we are. The final race of the RCGP season, the second race here this year, and the turnout was low, but the quality was still there. And once again, the weather, what those guys did, not just Brent and his crew, but the production crew to continue things going with their video production and everything else. They just kept moving along like nothing happened.
Right. They did
And
that. Yeah.
kudos to those guys. And along the line of what Mitch was saying with JQ, Joseph does get a raw deal sometimes, and it's because people haven't taken the time to get to know him. And there's a lot of things I disagree with him on politically, but he is true to his word as far as helping people and doing what he needs to do to promote the hobby. And I think he tries really hard at that. He's not the easiest to communicate with at times because I think the man's mind is always going, but he's true to who he is, and I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think it was a really good weekend. I think it's only going to build,
Right.
and I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. And like I said, man, it's really a nice experience just being able to go and just do something that's really, really, really organized and professionally done, so you can get a feel of how RC could really be if it's done in that manner, and it could be good enough to get to be streamed more, and also maybe could make it on TV if it's promoted and presented in the right way. And this is a good way to get it to that point. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. As far as so I know from the first RCGP S&B we ran, we had we ran the TZO
Cheers.
Spectre, and now we ran at this one we ran the what was it, pro was it pro certain
Typo somehow, typo or something like that.
pro hold on,
No, it wasn't Pro Circuit. It was
it
typo.
it was T Pro
T Pro.
T Pro, that's it.
Yeah, it was T Pro time. It was
Hey,
this time
continue.
right
I got to take a dog out. I'll be right back.
Okay. So what you think, Mitch? Did you hear anything about why they switched from the TZOs to the T Pro?
No, Joseph didn't say. Joseph didn't even know. Like,
Yeah.
he didn't know. He didn't know what tire he was running either. So,
Okay.
man, I ain't asked him, but I just heard him kind of overheard him talking about him. Like,
Yeah.
he didn't even know what tire he was running. Like, David,
So that's more with
David
issue.
do a lot of stuff, man. That dude, I say that dude do anything from ticking the cars to
The gates.
turn marshalling. He looked for me to extra turn marshal. Like, Cody needs help turn marshalling something, like that dude be on it, bro.
He does. He
Maybe
does.
I don't know when.
You stop messing with stuff. Go sit down.
But you get to the track at 6 in the morning, he already out there.
Baseball. So I need to meet up with Abe and them.
But
Abu.
I don't know, man. It just was it was a good time for us. Like say, I think it got me kind of a little bit more. Like we had some good runs in, but like
Mhm.
us not running as much.
Yeah.
I think it kind of.
You gonna put your car on your side?
Go ahead.
Or it's with Cody, like as in, like anybody gonna give him anything. Like you know what I'm saying? Like he went
Right.
out there, he had some good runs in, but not practicing for so long.
Mhm.
Not running at all. You know, like after about 5 minutes, I knew it was crunch time. Like okay, 5 minutes up. What we're gonna wad it up at? I knew it was time, and it happened. Like he was like second or third somewhere, and at the backside of one of them runs, and he
Right.
wadded up on that little bitty double. But it's a part of it. So he realized, like, another young man, it's nothing to do with racing. That I had to make him understand, like, son, like, if you take anybody's position on this track, you know what I'm saying? They should be mad because you hadn't put anything in,
Right.
And, but like I said, we did well, and it helped me too because I've been slacking. We both been slacking. Chauncey been riding me about getting back on it and doing this and doing that. So now I'm pumped, bro. I'm ready for the next race. So
it really did rejuvenate me a little more too, for real. To really get after it and even practice more with like you hear it all the time, with the purpose. You know what I'm saying? And just it just come down to you gotta sacrifice some stuff and put the time in if we really want to get better at this. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was our open experience. Learned a lot.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Tony Chan, yeah. So we were just talking about Tony Chandler.
Man, dude, I've been having technical difficulties like you wouldn't imagine.
You all right? We hear you now.
AT&T.
We good. Hey, Tony Chan, how did you tell everybody how you like the what's your opinion on the format and how everything was ran as far as like the race format and schedule wise? What you thought about that, Tony Chan?
Man, for some reason it's going in and out. Can you guys hear me fine?
Yeah, we hear you fine.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead. We hear
what
you.
did you ask me, Corey?
I said, how did you like the
What did you ask me?
What was your opinion on the race format and how everything was scheduled? How did you like that? And just elaborate a little bit.
And I'm sure Tony could probably the other Tony could probably elaborate too on this. I really enjoyed the first RCGP that we went to in South Carolina. I enjoyed the format. The only problem is that we weren't really familiar with it and we didn't understand it, and there was a lot of people under the same, canopy, same area, same pit as I was that was in the same boat. They just didn't understand the process.
Right.
And so we went through some growing pains during that first run because we missed a few races. We missed a few important races, actually. We missed the juniors final race that Joe could have been in. And we missed a few of the practices just because we were a little confused on how everything ran and everything worked and the lingo and the language. It was just different than what we're used to,
Right.
So if there was any kind of criticism I could give towards just that first race, I actually wrote the owner, David, and was speaking with him about it. And he was real receptive to what I had to say. He listened to me and he said, maybe we do need to make some changes as far as letting everybody understand and know how things work. And I think they when they came back this second time around, they were a little bit more thorough in explaining things and being able to understand, when you run and when your heat is up. But as far as this go rounds race, and I get it, I understand because of all the rain that we had, it was a little it was a little tight, and we were still trying to get all of our heats in, and but it was tough. I can tell you that. I can tell you that just being Joe's mechanic um, was enough. If I would have tried to race myself, we wouldn't have made it because the turnaround time was so tight
No.
between heats
Right.
that we didn't really even get a chance to test and change and see what we could do differently, other than making small adjustments. You couldn't change your shock oil, you couldn't change your diff oils, because the timing. I mean, you once you get off the track and do your marshaling duties, you had less than 20-30 minutes to get back on the track. So if it weren't for that, man, I think the weekend was fantastic, man. I got to hang out with my brothers,
Right.
which is rare, man. We haven't had an opportunity to do that in a while. So it was good to have everybody in one spot. I think we were just missing Javi, man, and it would have been the whole family, But I think and Andre.
Right.
But no, man, it was good. Joe had like Cody. Joe hadn't raced since the first Rcgp. Baseball is pretty much life for Joe right now,
Right.
and we're heavy into that. Baseball, it takes over. So
Yeah.
um, we didn't get a chance to practice, didn't get a chance to race, but for what it was and for what he went out there and did, I think he did the best he can. And, nerves got to him during a couple of the heats, but he performed. Once he got used to driving the car again and understanding it and getting back into the
To the groove.
getting back into the understanding of how the car works. It was really good. I think the highlight for him was the thing that they had introduced where they call it RCGP loves RC2.
Okay.
They didn't do that. They didn't do that the first time, where they allowed the big wigs, the professionals,
Uh-huh.
the pro guys to come in and drive their car. And so I think letting them do that and Joe getting to interact with Joe Bornhorst was a really cool experience for him. And just some of the minor adjustments that Joe made to Joe's car improved his time by like 3 seconds on his fastest lap. And he was pretty consistent with that after the adjustments were made and the things that Joe was telling him. So it really was helpful in the sense that I don't know everything about RC cars, and obviously the pros do it and they do it for a reason,
Right.
and they get paid for a reason.
Right.
It's because they know these cars inside and out. And Joe don't even run Mayako, but I mean, he just made a few tweaks and he was pulling, fast laps with the car. So I think we're gonna try to get back to racing a little bit more, man. We're gonna try to get back into it. Joe's 16 now. I love the baseball aspect of life and what we're doing with baseball. But I also know that there may not be a chance for him to get past to the next level for baseball. It's really tough to get into that collegiate level with baseball. So I don't want him to fall out of love with racing cars once he becomes a young adult. I want him to keep on doing it. So I'm gonna push for us to get to some more races in 23, and see if we can get up with you guys, man.
That's what's up.
Tony, maybe we might try to come your way, man. It might have a bucket list somewhere over your way, man. Might have to chill at your house or something, man.
That sounds good.
But
That's
overall, man, we had a really good time this past weekend, man.
That's what's up. We're gonna go just into a little bit of just the little basics of car setup. And but Tony Chan, just like you said, Joe haven't been on the track for a while. So what was y'all base setup that y'all went with just to start off with?
So we ran
just for like the shock package, your diffs, just stuff like that. Yeah. So what y'all did?
Yeah, so at first we ran we were running 7 holes with I think we were running 650 in the front and 600 in the back. We were running I think we were running 10.77 in the diffs.
Okay.
Which seemed to be real light when I heard that Joe Bornhorst was running 30 20 10 in his car. But I think with that setup, the tires that we had to use, Joe was a little loose.
Yeah.
And it took him a little while to get into the groove, but we ended up changing on everyone else's recommendation. We ended up changing to 5-hole pistons, and we went from 650 to 600 in the front, 550 in the back, and that seemed to tame the car a little bit. And we loosened up the throttle linkage and changed a little bit of the brakes, and the car seemed to get dialed in more. Joe was consistently running around 32, 33, 34 lap times, and then once we made all those tweaks and changes, he actually shaved off about 3 seconds and was running around 30, 31, 32 second laps. So good changes, good tweaks. I'm looking forward to learning more about this car, and leaning on Tony over there and Mike and Mitch to try to get some more opinions. I did get some good feedback from David Ronafolk,
right?
Where he said that we should be running at this particular track. We should be running links instead of arms, and we were running both arms in the front and the back. And Ronafolk was running arms in the front, no, links in the front, arms in the back. So he was just telling us on these smaller, tighter tracks, you want to run links because the car's a little bit more forgiving.
Okay.
And on the bigger tracks, the more spread out tracks is where the arms are working pretty well. So we'll take heed of that, take note of that, and adjust as we go.
Okay. Tony Scarcella, what was your starting out setup for as like your diffs and shocks package and stuff?
I kept it the same as Wicked Weekend, so I had six hole with bladder, soft X-ray bladder.
Yeah.
550 up front, 450 in the rear. Shocks felt good. My initial issue, I had changed out the diff, so I didn't have my brake bias set right, and of course we didn't have much time to do anything. So,
right.
I was like just messing with the linkage a little bit in between heats. I didn't have very much time at all, but yeah, pretty much that up into all through the practice, and then for the first qualifier, I actually went to a 5-hole. Okay. And like the 5-hole a little bit better. It's stable. It helps make it a little bit more stable.
Yeah.
Kept the bladders in there. Second qualifier, I did go to a 7-hole in 7-hole emulsion, and I hated it. I know really? don't use that word often, but I absolutely hate it. It was terrible.
Yeah.
So I went right back to the 5-hole.
Okay.
And for diffs, I ran 15, 15, 7. Okay. And that was from Wicked Weekend, and where we had more of an on power. What that does, the thicker you're centered in front diff, it gives you more pull and more drive, more acceleration.
Right.
And I'm not at freedom to say, unless you wanted to, exactly what David was using, but it was significantly higher. And if you've run any on-road or anything where you're running either a slipper in the center on like a 4-wheel drive buggy or car or a spool, you have to stay with those. When it's something that thick or solid, you have to stay on the throttle. So you have to drive it more aggressive. And the acceleration is amazing.
Right.
So we're actually thinking about next time it's like this, actually going even thicker.
Okay.
So, and what it does, like I said, it's more of an aggressive feel. But once you get used to the throttle, and actually, when I drive like this, I actually slow my throttle down.
Okay.
So I have my throttle speed set at 75% because it is more reactive.
Right.
But it gives you a more controlled drive. And once you slow down and you control the car, you can actually put less throttle input into it.
Okay. That's what's up. That's what's up. Pretty much, like I say, I'm still running the JQ, and I pretty much ran as far as my diffs, I ran 10 10 4. Sometimes I switched from 4 in the rear to 5 or 6 or 7, but I ran 4 this time, and it felt pretty good. Only thing, as far as my shocks, I ran 32 and a half weight in the front. Well, what's in the front? Yeah, in the front, and then like 30 in the rear, and it felt pretty much plush. I ran 7-hole pistons, just the stock JQ setup, 7-hole. I think 1.2 in the front and 1.34 in the rear, and it felt,
Short.
yeah.
Not to cut you short. Hey, you think you can bring Mike Walker in? Is it possible?
Yeah, he's on here. Yeah, he can come in. Mike, I'm gonna put the link. Mike, I'm gonna put the link in the chat box. Just click on that link, Mike. I done brought him in before, so it won't be no problem.
But yeah, like Tony, you said on that setup stuff, Tony. Like I don't know if there's a secret to what they're running or whatever, but yeah, like we run the same thing, and I never would thought about going that high. But like I say, you got to be able to hold on to it. Like you know what I'm saying? You have to be a punch driver, and I know we might have crashed a bit, but I think Cody was the most punch driver out there on the track all weekend. Trent said he don't think Cody ever let go of the throttle. Like some
Yeah,
segments
he was
he
running
just
hard. Yeah,
wide open. I need to put 2 fuel tanks in that dude car, bro. He wide open, and
but yeah. So
it was
yeah,
like really high. It's really high diff oils. I don't know if it's a secret or not. I don't know, but it's really really high, real high.
yeah.
But you better hold on to it and make it
Yeah,
work.
I don't know if it was a secret or not, to be honest with you, because I think they was all talking about it. But if it was a secret, my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cause
it
like
ain't
I said,
No,
really
no,
no
no.
secret
It
though. I mean,
wasn't.
it ain't. I know what I'm gonna say. It ain't no secret. It ain't no. It's like 30,000 in the front, 30,000 center. It was really really high. It was really really high, and
I can
it
can
ain't play
tell you
with.
this. I can tell you this. A few years ago, I ran the INS Smack Track in St. Louis, and
uh-huh.
I ran a B64, and B64 stock. It comes with 600 in the center, or excuse me, 100 in the center. By the end of the weekend, I was on 500K CST, so 100K to 500K. So
Yeah.
basically, like grease, and or even thicker than that. And
You run
it dropped
concrete.
my lap times by over a second because it gives you more direct driving acceleration. What it is you just have to get used to the reaction of it, and it makes it more controllable. You just have to get it up here, so you're not reacting to the car. You're making the car react to you.
Mm-hmm. If you watch them guys, like I watched some of the video today. I ain't never really watched it, but I watched some today,
Yeah.
and we watched those, especially GP class. Those guys was carrying so much momentum. Like you know what I'm saying? You had to have it full body to go down straight away and come out that turn down there. I don't know how they was doing it, but they was doing it. But they carried so much momentum, man. It wasn't even funny. But that's how they was running. I was like, when they told me to do that, I thought, I said, man, I think myself, I'm gonna get JQ a black eye. Send me out here, get me messed up out here, with that heavy oil like that.
Yeah.
It worked.
It worked.
It worked. I had to make sure, but I did sit back and wait, make sure you put it in his car first before I put it in. That's what I did. I use the same tube that he used.
Yeah.
I
So
use the tube that he used.
yeah. So like I said, it's just a basic setup, and only thing that when we did the RCGP loves RC2, when they looked over my car, that's when David told me that he said your car feels good, but if you wanted a little bit more drive, you could went up, like I said, to a heavier front and center diff oil. But other than that, he said it felt pretty good. I don't think I had to really tweak on that. When he went over it was he just adjusted my brake bias a little more, like you did, Tony, and he said that I could have tightened up my, because I want a little bit more steering, especially in that S turn when we turned back, hit that 180, then we dropped down and headed up this back side of the track. He said I could have he said sometimes when you can tighten down your servo saver, screw, tighten that all the way down, because you might think you got it tight enough when you just do it by hand or whatever, but as soon as you get on the track and that pressure get on those front wheels, it's gonna give some more. You know what I'm saying? So he said, just make sure that is all the way tight, or either
in the Miyako car, you got the thing. You don't have a servo saver on, in there too.
Yeah,
you got to adjust.
Yeah.
Another thing too is you can, on your brake linkage, on your brakes and stuff, the little piece you put on top to tighten down. Sometimes you put that down. If you got to check all that stuff, and by me being a mechanic, I'm sure. Well, all y'all don't hear Tony Chandler maybe, but when you're a mechanic, like our job's in the pits, so it's my job to see the little bitty things that y'all probably overlook, like over tighten the center diff thing with the cams with the brakes.
Yeah,
you want to have it tight, but if you got it too tight, you have it it'll be bound up. It won't be free, so you'd be hitting jumps and the brakes, so you'll be releasing, but the brakes should be grabbing a little bit. Like the brake discs, they can be too tight. You just gotta. It's stuff you gotta check, and lots of get overlooked. Ain't nobody. I do it sometimes. It's rare, but I overlook stuff sometimes. But it ain't too often. I think we broke one time, and I guess you would say it just was a hard crash. It just pulled the shocking out. But if it was just a breakdown from like a mechanical error, that's likely to happen. But that's the event of having a mechanic. You know what I'm saying? You were about the track, he were in the pits.
Right.
But my shock guy, I gotta get my shout out to Mike Walker on my shocks. JQ do good, but I'm around Mike a little bit more. So he helped me with the shocks pretty good bit. He do a lot of testing. It used to be my partner Chicken used to do all the testing, but he ain't been racing lately. So, but for the most part, when we always end up on Mike shock, I had to do a little adjustment from there. But he kind of get me lined up, Oh, is Mike coming on or what? Look, he said he found his computer up or something.
Okay. Well, he might. Like I said, I put the link.
I want to know, did anybody get the video? Or did they even video when she crossed the line?
When what happened now? Say it again.
Did anybody watch the videos from the race?
I watched a couple of them. What you was asking about?
Corey.
You talking about the RC2 final?
Races whenever Trent crossed, and when he crossed the line, Mike went to raise his arms up like Trent won, and when he raised his arms up, I had picked him up from behind, like his whole body came up in the air.
When you gave him that bell hook, I got
him out. I want to see if Rcgp if they videoed that.
The video. We'll go back and see.
Might be in jail for
I didn't see it in the race but they got them. They got the races posted. So
yeah.
Yeah, some of those. I think some of those videos were like 2 and 3 and 4 hours long. So you just had to find the race.
Right. Yeah.
Mike just said he's jumping on here.
Okay. So Doc. The doctor.
Yo.
So what was your starting setup for the race? What you go out on? Just far as like your
I kept my setup the same. I was I run emotion shocks. I used the flashpoint inserts. I think I had clear up front and blue in the rear, 6-hole pistons.
Yeah.
I think I was running 40 weight shock wheel up front, 37.5 in the rear. I ran 10.77 in my diffs, and so I probably could have went up on my diffs a little bit, but I didn't want to go up too much because I wasn't. If the traction probably would have been a lot more consistent, I probably would have went up in my diffs, but it was kind of hit or miss for me. So I just pretty much stayed 10.77.
Yeah, especially on the tires we was on. So I feel you on that. But
right.
Yeah.
Well, they had fantastic traction. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, it was it was fair. It was fair for everybody. I can say that. It was fair
Yeah,
for
it was
everybody.
good. It was good in certain
Yeah.
areas, but if you
At
got
about
out of
3 in
if
the
you got
afternoon
out
with the sun beating
of
down.
kind of it was perfect. But once but in the morning it was somewhat skaty, so we had a lot of tire spin in the early morning
It was.
hours of when we was out there. It
Right.
was a whole lot of tire spin, but as the day went on, they blow the track off. You
It
get
kind
out
of
there, you
cool.
snatch on it. That baby grabbing. But
Yeah.
as the day go on, you got a lot more fluff out there, little light sand over the top. So that's where the difference came in at.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it was grip. But if it was a grip, what Mitchell talks about, how you traction, like seriously traction rolling, then yeah, I probably definitely would have went up on my diffs.
Me too. Yeah.
Put a little anti squat in it if that traction would have came up. Like the traction that Mitch talked about at the Badlands at the Fall Brawl.
All brawl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been bicycling everywhere out there if they had that kind of traction.
That's right. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I like a lot of traction though. I do. I like it because I feel I'm more in control. More control of the car. But the track layout with the grip how it was for us at RC2, you had to watch it because especially on that back corner when you got ready to go into the sweeper,
Mm-hmm.
my car did a donkey flip back there. I hit that jump trying to, and it just the front end kicked up and it went sideways. So
Yeah.
certain parts of the track you really had to watch. You had to watch out where you was going at because that was gonna make all the difference in the world.
I got you. That's what's up. Let me bring this shocks shock genius
I feel
in here.
control. More control of the car. But
He's shot, but JQ taught him everything he knows.
The grip how it was for us at
All right, Walker.
RC2, you had to watch it because.
Hey, tell Mike to mute.
Mike, yeah, Mike.
To mute
I'm
the
sorry, Mike.
Facebook.
I hit that jump trying
I'm sorry, Mike.
The front end kicked up
What
and
is
it
he
went
doing?
sideways. So
Mike,
certain parts of the track you really had to.
Doctor, stop talking about 10 years ago. He's still going through. Mike, mute.
Hey, Mike, you got to mute the Facebook.
Mike, mute your Facebook.
That's what's up. Let's bring this shock genius in here.
Can y'all guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
We got you.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, Mike, we hear you, but mute you on Facebook. Yeah, mute your Facebook.
Hey, Mike, you gotta mute Facebook.
I don't have Facebook up.
Well, mute the YouTube. There you go. Mute the YouTube.
I don't have Facebook up. That's crazy.
So you got something playing in the background. Somebody got something playing in the background.
I told Mike turn that triple X stuff off before he got on here.
Mute your YouTube, Mike.
That's weird. I don't have it on.
We're gonna see right here.
Yeah, try just you have headphones on?
Yeah, that's Mike right there. Yeah, he got
There we go.
There we go.
Now we in there.
Gotta be a Miyako guy on it.
No, I actually muted Mike, so that's why we don't hear it now. Hold on, I'm gonna put him back in. Hold on.
I'll get this in a minute. It's been a while.
That's it, right there. You good, Mike?
Now we just got to get Chauncey to wear the right hat.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
You and
Mike.
JQ?
Mike, you good?
I hope so. Am I overrunning everybody? Is there all kind of weird stuff playing in the background now?
We good now. We good now.
Sorry about that, fellas.
No, you good now.
But yeah, go ahead, Mitch. Go ahead.
What? Might be my shock man.
Yeah.
Mike is my shock man. And then shock man. The first RCGP, um, he did a lot of testing. So I mean, I trust. You know, what I'm saying I trust him with the
Yeah.
shot. You know, he
Opinion.
get me close, and then of course I adjust. You know, when I need to adjust what I need to do. But yeah, I go most of the time. Cody been running his shot since RCGP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mike, we were just talking about pretty much how our setup was when we first got there, and how did we adjust, as the track grooved up and then traction came up. So what was your starting like shock and diff setup, and then what did you adjust after that?
Honestly, we never changed the shocks. We ran one round on 6 holes and swapped over to the 5 holes that I pre-built. We never changed them for the rest of the weekend.
So y'all stayed on 5 holes.
Yep, it was a 5 hole with a bladder and 525 400.
Well, that's what's
So
up.
listening to what all you guys were saying earlier, I was listening to you for a while there. Something you have to always keep in mind. I agree with you guys that the pros and the Joes, that's an excellent thing. It's great for the kids. And yes, all those guys, they know these cars like the back of their hands, but those are also your upper echelon of pro.
Right.
Some of the things you have to take into consideration, for example, is the fact that they were running ultra high diffs. They were also running whatever tire worked for the track. Running the spec tire that we ran on that track, we could not run that diff height. It wouldn't work. We tried it one round, and that was Trent's worst round. We went right back to what we started with. So the only thing that we changed on the car from the setup that we showed up to the track is we went down one size in the front sway bar. We went up 1,000 weight in the rear, and we went down 1,000 weight in the center. That was the only changes we made to the car from the time we got there to the time we got lucky enough to get on the step.
Okay. So what diff setup did y'all have in there from the beginning?
We were running we started out with 12 10 6, and then we went back to 12 9 7, and that's what he liked the best.
Yeah.
And I sent Mitch, actually I can grab it, you can probably see it on video. I'm sure you probably saw a lot of the cars that came off the track after that 45 minutes had no tires left.
Right.
Yeah, get some light on there, Mike.
Okay.
Get a little more light on here. There we go.
Yeah.
We got
more than half the tread left
on there. That's the front tires, and there's the rears. We didn't use up our tires at all. Right. He had enough tires to run another 45 minutes. So that's what I say. Always take what those guys have into consideration. Don't ever run back to the pits and change your cars up completely until you understand what you're doing.
Hey, Mike, what do you think about them tires?
I agree with that, Mike.
You think the tires have been like that if we had been like the fall brawl traction? Like, you've been a fall brawl before, right?
Oh yeah. You talking about these handout tires?
Yeah, it ain't any tire would it last. I mean, it'd have been so grippy, it wouldn't matter if they balled or grip. Shit had knobbies on them. It wouldn't matter.
See, if it was a normal fall brawl and we were running it on the RCGP class,
right,
we would have been on an ellipse clay tire. And the ellipse clay tire gains more traction as the tread goes away.
Okay.
So that being said, these tires, they weren't bad. They were a handful all the way up until the main. In the main, we finally gained the traction we were looking for. And for example of that too, like with everybody burning up their tires, our fuel mileage with these tires was horrible compared to what we're used to.
Mm-hmm.
Used to in a situation like that, we'd run an 8:30 pit stop, but we used practice in the morning to figure out what kind of fuel mileage we were getting, and we had to back down to 6-minute pit stops. So as the traction came up through the day, I was able to adjust that sum. We gained a minute in pit stop as the traction came up. So we were doing a 7-minute pit in the main.
Okay.
But once again, with running a diff fluid that worked for him, we were basically setting up for the tire, not the track. You know, granted, I say that loosely. There's always track set up in there, but we had to set the car up to work with the tire, not vice versa.
So that's why y'all went down with the center diff to give you a little bit more traction to help out.
Yeah, and it smooths the car out. Seeing as we
He
don't have a lot of traction, you
was
know,
balancing. He's balancing the
it
front
makes
rear of
the
the car
car
out.
less nervous.
Yeah.
It's
So-
all a balance. Like what Mike telling you is, it's no right and wrong way. It's you have to balance your car out. Like it's all about a balance. And like and you're right, you had to go. Like you had to build your car sit up around the tire. Like and y'all, I ain't say it's easier, but everybody on the same tire,
Mm-hmm.
so you know you have to do your sit up around the tire that you're gonna run. Like most of the time, if I go to a race, I've been there several times. I know what time I'll be on, and I do my sit up around that tire, and I'm gonna be running on.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
and like I say, it is a difference between the pros and like say and the Joes, you know, as far as the tire go, you know, like better
Yeah.
change tire because you don't have a choice. You got to deal with what you got. Like you can't come in, oh, my tire they too loose. You can't do that. You got to
deal with
got to build it around what you got to work with. And it makes it a little bit easier. And I wouldn't care if they did that to the Rcgp class, make them run one tire, and then
that
you
would
sit
be
on that.
good. That would be
That would-
really good, actually.
Yeah, it wouldn't. I wouldn't be mad at that because it's less thing you have to worry about. You don't have to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because
And everybody on a
Levels the
handout.
playing field.
Yep.
yeah,
It levels the playing field.
Because when we got there, we run Cody run for lugs now, and we never even tested with him a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, I was kind of guessing, like you know what I'm saying, and I didn't have all the tires that I needed, the compound, so I never made no big order. But I didn't have what I needed because I thought the track was gonna do something different. So, but I
Right.
had to run what we had. You know what I'm
See,
saying?
you would have seen if you had have seen RCGP on the handout tire, you wouldn't have seen those high diffs because
No.
the cars would have been way too responsive on power, and it would have just broke the
Yeah.
tires loose when they tried to jump on power.
Mm-hmm.
So that was even an issue with Mitch and Cody when I did some shocks for Cody. As I told Mitch, I'm like, man, I said I'll try to help you, but I don't even know what the hell you guys are doing over there. And I meant that sincerely, as in it's not that they were doing anything wrong by my standards. It's you got to have the balance in the car. So as I had told Mitch, when I watched Cody run on the shocks that I gave him, Cody had more traction than anybody on the whole damn property did. He would have needed to go to a super hard clay tire to calm Cody down. And I think Cody would have been blistering fast at that point because you could have kind of used the car to tune Cody down a little bit.
Yeah, I tried to
Dang.
tune him down. I knew the car had traction in it, and I told him, I said, look, the car going to have traction for the short race you was in. I said, use that to your advantage that you don't have to drive the car so hard. But him being 18, he know everything. Like you can't tune something down that's wide open all the time. You know what I'm saying? The traction was there. All he had to do was calm down and just know that the bike was in the car when he wanted it. But he didn't listen, and that goes back to me. Like I tell him all the time, my next step with him is I'm gonna teach him. Like I'm gonna make him learn how that car works. Like what does what? How he don't know how a clutch system work. He don't understand. He don't pick his tires. He don't know, and that's what's stopping him from moving to that next level because he don't understand. And like Michael mechanic, I used to do mechanic work too, and I understand how you got to understand how something works before you can kind of master. You got to master it, know what's going on, and a lot of people don't know when you let them tires heat up, so the traction change. They might heat up and they might fade, but you got to know what compound tire you're running. So you might start out slow and then get faster, or you might start out fast and get slow.
Yeah.
but that's called like I call it racecraft. You know what I'm saying? In order to be a winner, and this problem we run into, we can win sometimes, but at the same time, you got to know how to win. Like, did that make sense to y'all?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You got to know how to win. It's a sequence. It's like it's a sequence to winning. Like, and you can't win all the time. Like, so you might be that third or fourth place car, but if you go out there and you screw it up and widen it up, guess what you're gonna be at? 11th or 12th place car. You know what I'm saying? It's just all of racecraft, and a lot of things y'all notice with the pro guys when they running. Some have enough respect for each other. They know their car not no good. They know their car can't go. Prime example: when I was racing Chauncey Matt, he came down here to race, and I raced him at one of these races. I don't know what race it was. Well, I could run with Chauncey, but I was giving him all I had because the car. What race was it? Family reunion race.
The family reunion race.
Yeah.
I was giving Chauncey all I had, but I couldn't push the car no further. But me knowing I'm a mechanic, I knew what was going on. I knew that I didn't have nothing else. I had to wait on him to give me what I needed by crashing or bobbling, because that's all I could get out of the car. That's all I could do, Because I'm driving Cody set up, and then I already can't hold on to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I made him nervous a couple times. I had to take his blood pressure pill. he still whooped my ass. He got me.
Yeah.
But he knew
Hey,
I
well,
was
that was
there.
the
You know what I'm saying?
beginning.
I was on his back door. He knew I was there.
I
That's
needed
right.
some blood.
Yeah, you there.
I needed some blood
But,
pressure pills the last 10 minutes of that race on Sunday.
Hey, I could have went to jail for manslaughter when I picked you up after cleaning the finish line.
I have told everybody that's the first time in my life it felt like the world fell out from under my feet because I was not ready for that.
And you watching him, and it was so funny how you just kind of. But I don't know if they videoed that or not.
There's a tidbit of it in there. They didn't get it head on, but they got it from the side. I showed my wife; she was laughing at me.
But yeah, y'all, man. Like I said, bro, I ain't gonna keep y'all up here all night. But like I said, if y'all wanna, give your sponsors and stuff a shout out, and we can break it down like that, and then we'll be up out of here. Like I said, this was just a recap, man, and just let everybody just talk and explain, how their weekend went and how we really enjoyed just being around each other, the fellowship, and just being that, enjoying RCGP and enjoying something different than our regular race formats that we usually run pretty much every weekend. So yeah. Doc, you want to start it off? Give your sponsors some shout outs and stuff. You want to go ahead, Doc? You can go ahead.
Oh, most definitely. I'd like to give a shout out to Mugen, big shout out to Reg Racing, big shout out to Proline, Beach RC, TTR Racing, Dowd RC Hobbies, and I'd like to give a shout out to the whole Miyako crew for letting me hold it down with y'all for pitting and everything, making me feel welcomed. And big shout out to Brent, and his whole crew for what they put on, and major shout out to RCGP. So for anybody out there that hasn't attended this event, this is an event that's gonna change the world of RC. So if you get a chance to attend the RCGP, it's definitely a bucket list race where it's one that you need to attend.
Yeah. Tony Scarcella, what you got over there?
Well, obviously, thank you to Mayako, Reds Racing, Dialed RC, Majestic Rides RC, Beach RC, and Next Level RC. Mike's Shocks Are Us. And just everybody else. And Chauncey's okay, even though he's driving the wrong car. But
yeah, he got the wrong.
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well, I
Corey,
mean, he's got the right letter there. He's just got the wrong letters behind the M. So.
That's right. That's it.
Hey, Corey, tune Tony back in. He just hit me up.
Okay. There you go. I see him. But okay. Mike Walker.
Yes, sir.
Go and tell the good people who you represent. What's up?
Well, for me, it's on behalf of Trent, obviously, but
Yeah.
The experience with Mayako so far has been great. And J Concepts, High Tech. I can't can't say enough about that company. It's been a 20-year relationship, and I'm very proud of that.
Okay.
As well as, like I said, on Trent's behalf, his Surpass for his electronics, Nitro Pro for his fuel, Beach RC. I also have to give a big shout out to Brent and the guys for what they did with the facility there.
Yeah.
It just, hands down, them guys worked their butts off. And, I also have to say that I believe RCGP format is definitely something that needs to be followed. I think that I hear a lot of complaining and a lot of moaning and groaning throughout the hobby, and nobody wants to change anything. And this is the future of what could be.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of things that that can grow. They're very infant in this and a very old guard style world. And I think if everybody would give it an opportunity, that I think they would be pleasantly surprised.
That's what's up. Tony Chandler.
Hey, gentlemen. First of all, let me say sorry for all the technical difficulties, man. It's
You good?
it's tough when you're doing multiple things, man. I'm over here at my concession stand right now trying to take inventory for this weekend. But yeah, man, let me shout out. Most important to me is my TTR family. There's the guys that's on this call right now, minus a few. But man, it was so good to see y'all and be with y'all and hang out with y'all and fellowship with y'all, and just be brothers, man, and hang out and clown on each other and hang out and love each other, man. It's good stuff. Sometimes, work and the busyness of the days get to you, and you gotta step back and be able to enjoy life. So this weekend, that's what it was about. Wasn't really about winning, man. I was just happy to be there and enjoy the time with you guys. So very thankful for that, man. Our sponsors, man, I couldn't do it without our sponsors, man. Definitely Mayako, for sure. Beach RC, Brent, Beach RC, Dialed Hobbies, Greg Degani with Sidewander Fuel, Reds Racing. Man, our power plants are on point. Me and Chance, we was running hard with them. Tony Scarcella, we was running hard with them Reds Racing engines. So thank you to them guys. We really appreciate them. Y'all want to go fast? Go get you a Reds Racing engine or two.
Sidewinder fuel.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That'll keep you out on the track for a while. Other than that, man, just my whole RC family. Thank you guys in the pits. Tony, Mike, it's always a pleasure hanging out with you guys and learning from y'all. Mitch, I know you can't hang out with the road dogs because you up there with the big dogs, but we still love you anyway, man.
I came out with every chance I got. Hey,
yeah, you did. You did.
That was good. We still playing.
Yep. That's right.
But that's it, man.
I was over there. I come see Mike. I come see y'all. Mike was working on the front deck up there. So
yeah, man.
Yeah.
We all together, man. We all was together. We all stayed in the same room together, man, and broke bread with each other. So man, what more can I ask for on a brother's weekend and enjoying? And me and you, Mitch, and Mike, we running with our boys. Man, what better feeling is that, man? My boy Mike, your boy is old. He's older. He's an adult. My son is 16. Mitch, Corey is 18. Man, we don't know how much longer they're gonna want to do this, and I hope they want to do it for as long as we've been doing it. But you never know. You never know what's gonna interest them. They're young men, so for us to be able to do it with them, man, you can't ask for nothing better, dog.
You can't put a price tag on those memories.
That's right.
No, man.
Yeah.
Hey, my question is though, did you guys have water in your room this time? Because last trip we had water.
hey, not only did we have water, Tony, but it was hot.
We had ticks though. we did have ticks.
Oh yeah. That's a
Oh,
whole
man.
nother story right there, boy.
Yeah. Mitch got ate up by some ticks.
Oh, yeah.
So,
All right. We got the big polar bear, Mitch Watson. Who you want to give a shout out to? Go ahead.
Of course, JQSM, the whole Miyako team,
Yeah.
Sidewinder Fuel, Assault, Ultimate, man, so many sponsors. High Tech, Lugs Tires, my boy Mike helped me out with my shots as usual. I got my engines right now, which I'm about to call him because I'm gonna need one back before November. And he got my headset, so I've been feeling naked all day. I can't even work.
Right.
He got my headset left at the track. I don't know what other sponsors I got. I don't know what other sponsors he got left out there, but big shout out to my boy Chauncey Mack. A lot of people don't know that he be behind the scenes, helping me out with Cody. He my silent partner. I want to put his name on my stuff. But he makes sure things happen,
Yeah.
So I don't know all the sponsors Cody got. I don't even know. JQ made the weekend fun over there, messing with him all weekend. Keenan. I don't know, man. Just everybody. I just enjoyed
Right.
hanging out with everybody. It kind of like it was that little getaway that I needed because like I've been here, like I put the blame on Cody, but like I haven't really fooled the RC stuff myself in a while. Like I haven't messed with it. Like what I'm saying, now I'm back at the point now.
Right.
I'm ready to I even gave Mike, so I'm ready to roll. I might even start driving myself some. So I'm at that point now.
I got you.
But it was that break I needed.
Yeah.
And so yeah, a No Name podcast too. Forgot about that.
Yes,
My
sir.
free
That's
name.
what's up.
Oh yeah, gotta throw Lefty in there, man. No
Yeah,
name
Lefty
RC,
my
no
boy.
name podcast, man, for sure.
Lefty he like my I guess he like my therapist, I guess. I call him when all my stuff go down with Cody pissed me off. I had to hit him up. So
Get some therapy in. I got
yeah.
Hey man. But fellas, like I say, I appreciate everybody. And I just want to thank really my RC family, my YouTube family, my like I said, my RC family, and I want to thank Miyako, Reds Racing, Dial Hobbies, HRP. Who else I got over here? TTR Racing. Just my family, man. All my family members right here. They always motivate me, keep me going. Just let me have an opportunity like this just to put them on and just so everybody can, we can pick each other brain and just come up with new ideas how we can have fun and make this hobby we all love, better for us and our families. And not just, we're not just talking about RC all the time. We talk about life stuff too. So that's a big plus. And Mike, Tony, both Tonys, Mitch, Doc, Jarvis, he ain't on here, Dre, that's Doc's brother that be with us all the time too. Joe's just like my nephew, you know what I'm saying? Cody, just like a nephew too. So it's just one big love, you know what I'm saying? All love. And I just appreciate all y'all for y'all supporting me and helping me with this, content creating with the YouTube channel and with the podcast and stuff. And y'all always encourage me to keep on. And also with my racing also. So I appreciate y'all for this opportunity, y'all. And like I say, if you ain't ripping, you tripping. Ain't gonna hold y'all up all night. And I appreciate it, y'all. We gotta do this again. This was fun. This was fun.
Yeah, it was. Hey,
Yeah.
Corey, I see a question. It looks like there's a question on there. Charles McKenzie's asking about the Miyako Truggy.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Mike can give a lot of input into this, but there's more than likely next year. There's multiple chassis that we're working on prototyping right now in Europe and over here, e-buggy and nitro.
Mm-hmm.
So there should be a couple rolling chassis by the end of the year, but you'll definitely start seeing prototypes out at the beginning of next year.
Yeah.
But if Mike don't get my headset back to me and one of them engines is gonna be at the funeral in a couple of weeks.
He got it right now. Yeah.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, my boy Mike got me by the balls right now. I can't do nothing. I can't do nothing, man. I wouldn't bought another headset. Can't nobody. I started throw it out the window. Can't nobody hear me.
Yeah, and let me give a shout out to also J Concepts also, and a big shout out to Chris Nelson with TNR Racing Fuels.
See, there's a Truggy right there. Sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead. Like I said, with big shout out to Chris Nelson with TNR Racing Fuels, and also Send It RC. Also, those guys really helped me out too. So, but yeah, Mike, you got anything else about the Truggy you want to say?
Yeah, it's right there.
Oh, that's the Truggy.
Yeah, there's a Truggy right there.
Yeah, Mike teasing you, bro. Don't let Mike tease you like that.
There's
a
picture. There's another picture of it right there. It does exist, I promise.
Okay.
It does.
Well, in due time, we will see. Up
In
close
due
and
time.
personal. In due time. Yes, sir.
Hey,
Well,
if it's anything like the buggy, man, we're gonna have some fun. I tell you what.
you already know it.
Yeah, because I can't drive a buggy worth a damn, but I can drive a Truggy.
Well, yeah, y'all, I appreciate this, man. This was really fun, man. Like I said, we got to get together again and just we need to do maybe more races like this and do little race reports like this live. You know,
we need to do it. Like we need to find a race. I know we went to travel by like a neutral spot or somewhere. We all just kind of like go to. It ain't gonna be a super duper big race, but like a race we all can go to. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
the whole community needs to bring their butt down here by my house for a weekend and just spend it driving and racing, and the clock can be on, and that's where we do all our setup at. So obviously something's working.
Right.
Yeah, we got a spot to meet up. Well, you in Orlando, right? You gotta go down Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, right?
Yeah, we're going next weekend. We'll go into our Florida Champs race, and I was at the track. I was at the track last night too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with me. Somebody needs to smack me.
Yeah, I talked to him last night. Him hit the you should have said Berto Beach.
Yeah,
stuff, man. Do at the track last night.
I just think this RCGP race that we just left, I think it really rejuvenated everybody, really. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good thing. And hopefully next time.
Something to kind of leave you on too. It's been a hot topic in the behind the scenes here, but just like being at the track last night, everybody has to understand that there's not a super setup that you can put in your car that's going to make you a pro.
Right.
And the only thing that is going to make your results better is a lot of hard work. And I'm very thankful for the opportunities we've had along the way. I'm very proud of my son for what he was able to accomplish this weekend. And boy, if you guys could see the work that's been put in on the backside to make that happen, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah, Trent been working.
Right.
Trent, he deserves every bit of that.
Great job, Trent.
Great
Applause
job
to you, brother.
He deserved that win. He deserved that.
It.
Been working hard, yeah. But fellas, I love all y'all, man. And we up out of here.
All right.
Yeah, maybe the next time we talk, you'll know what it's like to put together a Mayako.
Hey, real soon. It's coming. All right, y'all.
If you need any help, I know a guy. His name's Tony.
I know. I heard of him a couple of times. Tony and Mike and me and Tony. We got a family. We good,
It's
good
all
to go.
family.
That's it. All right, y'all.
All right, fellas. Have a good night.
Good night, y'all. Yeah.